Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Meepolis and this is Literally Graphic. And today we are going to be talking about Adjoua of Yop City, Volume 2 in the Adjoua series, written by Marguerite Adjoua and illustrated by Clement Breri. Today's highlighted Black YouTuber is Ray of Books, someone I've followed for a long time. I not only enjoy their book content, but also the way she promotes libraries and hiking videos. She also reads comics. Link below to check out her channel. As far as warning goes, there continues to be the presence of older men in relationship with younger women, often including deception. Marguerite Adjoua was herself born in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, where she grew up during a great time of prosperity. She and her brother moved to live with a great uncle in Paris to pursue their education. Marguerite apparently first tried to write young adult novels, but was frustrated by the constraints on that medium and left her job as a legal assistant after publishing the first volume of Adjoua. Unsurprisingly, according to Wikipedia, Adjoua lists Persepolis under her inspirations for why she wrote Adjoua, combined with the desire to show, quote, an Africa with a focus on issues other than war and famine. Returning to research these two creators, I was surprised to learn this time through that apparently Clement and Marguerite are married and live outside of Paris. Otherwise, Breri is an illustrator who published several albums and children's books before jumping into comics to illustrate Adjoua. He has now founded an animation studio with Joan Svar and Antoine Delasveau, the former of which style Breri reminds me of very strongly. Flipping back to the back of the book, this continuation of the dynamic story of Marguerite Adjoua and Clement Breri returns to Africa's Ivory Coast in the late 1970s, where life in Yop City is as dramatic as ever. Breri's artwork synchronizes perfectly with Adjoua's funny and lighthearted writing, which together creates a spirited atmosphere and scenarios that, however unique to the bygone setting, remain entirely contemporary in their effect. The original cast of characters is back in full force with a case of questionable paternity fanning the flames of activity in the community. The new mother, Adjoua, has her friends to help her with the baby, perhaps employing Adjoua a bit too frequently, while a new romance leaves Bintou with little time for her friends, let alone their responsibilities. The young women aren't the only residents of Yopougon involved in the excitement. However, Adjoua's father is caught in the midst of his own tryst and his employer's declining Solibra beer sales, and Adjoua's brother finds his share of the city's nightlife. Fun community drama. Class is actually pretty central to much of the motivation of various characters / workarounds / peoples talk a lot more about class than I'm used to. Gender, as far as the binary goes, is very good in that it centers and takes seriously the lives of what I'm pretty sure are all young cis women. Sexuality is not really explored outside of the heteronormative, but it felt different enough to still be pretty interesting, which is pretty hard to do. And while race is central to my consumption of this book, I wouldn't say there's actually a theme in the book, as all characters are black, living in a predominantly black country. Ability versus disability was the least explored element and non-existent. By all, keep reading and resist white supremacy. And as always, Literally Graphic is recorded on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation. I live here because of British colonization, Indigenous genocide, and more geographically specific, Treaty 13, also known as the Toronto Purchase, which was finalized in 1805 between representatives of the Crown and certain Mississauga peoples. This treaty was a lie and has since been broken many times over. Saying so reflects only my own small steps towards knowing the truth and does nothing for reconciliation.